Now let's see what's making the ITV News headlines where you are.
Good evening, I'm Duncan Golestani with the headlines in London. The torrential rain is causing huge disruption across the capital this evening, with the transport network badly affected. At least 8 tube and DLR stations are closed because of flooding. By Hammersmith Bridge, water has been gushing into the air after the huge downpours. Meanwhile, this was Tower Bridge, where the roads are underwater. On the A406 near Woodford, cars were stranded because the carriageway was impassable for a while. And there's been a lot of local flash floods in residential areas. This is Walthamstow. There is a yellow weather warning in place for London and the home counties, which means a risk of flooding and storms. We will, of course, have the forecast in just a few minutes' time. But added to those stations flooded, more disruption across the underground network because of 300 staff having to self-isolate. There's been no service on both the Circle and Hammersmith and City lines, while the District and Metropolitan lines have reduced service. It comes ahead of further disruption to commuter trains in the coming week, with Thameslink and Southern cutting their weekday timetables until further notice. The public are being urged to continue looking out for a 12-year-old girl who went missing on Thursday. Manat Mann was last seen in the Wanstead Park area of Redbridge 3 days ago. She has no links to that area but does have relatives in Hounslow. CCTV shows her last sighting wearing a white T-shirt and grey leggings with a white stripe on them. Now to a football match where the taking part meant so much more than the result. Sands United FC London is made up of families who have lost children to stillbirth or neonatal deaths. They played in Brent this afternoon to raise awareness for their cause and to help one another with their grief. Anna Geary reports.
A pre-match ritual for the Sands United London squad. The team is made up of men who have suffered child loss. It was co-founded in early 2019 by this man, Johan, whose daughter Hope was a stillborn baby.
People just don't know what to say, essentially, and this group provides a platform of people that do know what to say. It might be nothing at all, but at least just being around people who feel the same way is definitely a benefit. And it is a taboo for sure, but this group and Sands United up and down the country is about breaking that taboo.
But it wasn't just the dads today thinking of their babies born sleeping. 7-year-old Logan braved the rain to remember someone special too.
For my little sister that passed away.
And what was she called?
Winter Rose.
Winter Rose, lovely. And do you like football?
A little bit.
Sands United London were playing against another charity with a focus on football, the Jason Roberts Foundation. Based in Brent, it offers sports opportunities to young people who might not otherwise access coaching so they can progress as players. Otis Roberts is involved in managing the foundation. He says he jumped at the chance to take part today.
We've got some former players within our ranks that are itching for a game, some in their 40s and 50s, and anything we can do to support other charities. It's about charities working together, raising awareness and some much needed funds.
Funds which the players are hoping could fetch between £500 and £1,000 for charity. Well worth their match loss, says the Sands squad, after the final whistle blew a 5-2 victory to the foundation. Anna Geary, ITV News.
The sprinter Dina Asher-Smith has been named Team GB's athletics captain at Tokyo Olympics. The 25-year-old from Bromley is one of the favourites in the 100 and 200-metre race, as well as being part of the 4x100 relay squad. She'll give the traditional captain's speech at the final team meeting this weekend. And former Spurs captain Gary Mabbutt has now made more than 3,000 calls to vulnerable and elderly fans during the pandemic. Over the past 16 months, he has spent 2 hours a day speaking to fans aged 70 and over. The club ambassador said he was looking forward to speaking to many more in the future. Back to the weather now. Here's Helen Plint with the forecast.
Great Western Railway sponsors the ITV London weekend weather.
Hello again, a very good evening to you. Some real drama in the skies overhead this evening with amber warnings for thunderstorms over the coming hours. So potential for flash flooding, localised disruption as well. As you can see, these really potent downpours pushing north to south. Yes, they'll be broken, but the chances are we'll see thunder, lightning and hail all mixed in for a time. By the early hours of the morning, though, it will start to quieten down out there. Minimum temperatures overnight hovering around that mid-teen mark, and actually by first thing tomorrow morning, not looking too bad at all. So some perky sunshine coming through between the hangback of cloud, but yes, you guessed it, those showers will be back through the afternoon. Again, heavy, but better space this time, and actually feeling a little warmer in that sunshine.
Great Western Railway sponsors the ITV London weekend weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
Well, finally, we've got a break for hay fever sufferers coming up. After the high pollen levels of late, we're generally looking at moderate to see us through the next few days. There will be some fluctuation with things dipping at times when those showers head through.
That's it for now. Have a good evening.